Hey everybody, this is Armijo, ArmijoCoaching.com. It is it's getting cold out there. We're hitting that fall weather. Just beautiful though. So I hope it's wonderful wherever you are. Today I wanted to talk about waking up and how things can seem to suck when you wake up, right? So what do we mean by waking up? So when you have your awakening, or basically what happens is you realize that everything around you, this world that you've grown up in, that you've lived in forever and ever, is not what it seems. And what I mean by that is that you start to understand that things seem to become blatant to you. So we see these definite variables between what the media is telling us and what we can research and find on our own as far as answers are concerned. And we start to understand that maybe our teachers weren't right all the time, or whatever we were studying in school really has no impact on our being as a person here on this planet, as a member of this universe. So I know that sounds a little bit odd. Let me see, the best way that I can put this is that when I went through my awakening, I was always, growing up, let's start there. Growing up, I was always thinking that, why do we have to go to work? Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do that? And right now, I know some of you are saying, well, so you can pay the bills, so we can get this house, we can do that. But these people also believe, many of these people also believe in a higher power. They believe in a God or Allah, a Buddha. Like this, Buddha's not an entity, but they believe in these higher powers, these higher beings. And so my question for them is that if you believe in these higher beings, and I was raised Catholic, so I had to go to catechism and all these different things on Sunday. And so as we believe in these higher beings, do we think that these higher beings put us on this planet to work? And usually we're working for other people. We're working at a job that we don't really care for. We're not really fulfilled in what we're doing. And when it all comes down to it, we're just kind of living somebody else's life or somebody else's idea of what life is. And so this is what I'm talking about when we talk about awakening. We start to understand that if there is a higher power, and I do believe there's something higher than us, does this thing really want us to slave our days away at some job that we're not completely happy with? I believe if there's a higher power, that this entity would like us to live our lives to the fullest. Live a life full of joy, happiness, love, abundance, instead of spending 40 hours a week every day of our life for 25 plus years doing something else that we are not satisfied with. So this is how my awakening came to be. Now, many people may see it differently. Maybe many people, you see these actors who they're on these roles and they're making all this money, and then all of a sudden they stop and they say, I'm done. And they turn it all away. They say, I'm going to go find more. There's got to be more to this world. Meanwhile, we're thinking, well, you've got the car, you've got this yacht out here, you've got this home in Aspen, this home in New York, this home in California. What else do you want, right? You have everything. But when you start to awaken, you realize that stuff is just stuff. And the millennials have done really, really well with this because, I'm on that tail end of millennial Generation X. But growing up, I loved to collect movies. I loved to collect music. I loved to collect physical things, video games. And so now everything's turned to digital, right? You're just kind of renting it. And so this is a great metaphor for how life is. We're just renting this space here. We're just paying our monthly, daily dues, whatever you want to call it, and we're renting our time on this planet. We're not going to be here for too long. Yet, many people are very willing to rent their lives to something that's not fulfilling to them. And they'll do this wholeheartedly. They'll go in there and they may hate what they're doing, but they think and they believe they have to do this. And once you awaken, you see that that's not the point. You see that that is not necessary to not just survival, but not to be a human, to be in society. We've been so conditioned through outside programming that there are millions of people that are living in fear right now. There are millions of people that are afraid of other people. They're afraid of their family members. They're afraid to get sick because, and I'm just getting over something myself. So they're afraid of illness, right? This illness, this little illness that I had, is nothing unless we make it something. And so when we awaken, we understand the power of our mind, of our intention, of our words. We understand the power lies within us and not out there, not out where media is telling you that, everybody is, we're in the pandemic as I make this, and that everybody's going to kill you because you're going to be sick and exposed to this virus, and millions of people are dying around the world. Which I am not doubting that people are passing away. I'm not doubting that this virus exists, but I am doubting the media's narrative on this. I'm doubting the reason that we have to stay indoors. None of it makes sense. Vitamin D can be obtained by sunlight, which is said to kill this virus. Yet, many countries are restricted to stay indoors. Why? Why is that? Many people that are having this virus are getting over it relatively quickly, and the media is saying otherwise. So if we were to listen to the media, we would literally go outside and look at people crawling on the ground like zombies, because that's how it sounds through the media, right? Okay, so that's my little rant on there. But what I'm saying is that things start to suck because we start to understand these things that we don't have to do any longer. We start to understand that there are different ways to approach our lives and approach this world. We start to understand a lot more than the people that still are asleep. And this is where it gets tough, because a lot of people are still asleep. There still are mothers and fathers, our brothers and sisters, and friends and family. And it's hard because we feel like we're talking to a wall, and then we feel like they're thinking that we're crazy. And so we've got this whole mishmash of things that aren't cohesive happening. The other thing that happens is all the things that you used to love to do, maybe you used to love to listen to certain types of music, or play video games, or even watch scary movies. These things are no longer relevant to you. Going out and drinking and partying at the clubs may no longer be exciting for you. And we become a little bit depressed because of this, because we used to have these outlets, right? And so we have to find out what our new outlets are. And the wonderful thing is that once we begin to go inside and really try to experience who I am, I'm not Chad. That's just the name that I was given. I am so much more than this, just like you are. We're just beings of unlimited potential. And when we begin to understand this, and we begin to wrap our minds around what that means for our lives in general, and how we can really change ourselves going forward, then things can become different. Things will change and be better for yourself, of course, and then for the life around you. No longer will you even turn on the TV and worry about what this media is saying today, because it's just not relevant to you. Your world is a completely different world moving forward. Now, these things may suck for a temporary time. You may no longer find it, your favorite TV program engaging. You may no longer find that you love watching scary movies because it takes you down to a lower vibration and you don't feel good when you're watching them. But what you will find is that, and this sounds a lot like religion when you talk about it, but what you will find is that you yourself are connected to everything in this universe. Everything, from the trees outside to the coworkers at work, even the ones you don't like, and to the animals, in the zoo that you see, and they're kind of looking sad there because you're like, why are they not in wild? Why are we just keeping these creatures, these wonderful creatures, locked up and taken away out of their natural habitat? Why do we do these things? So you start to think differently. We start to put more emphasis on ourselves, our well-being, and our inner being. And so we start to see the universe as it really is, and it's a magical thing. And we don't need our old forms of entertainment anymore. We don't need the TV. We don't need the video games. We don't need this stuff. We may still want to use it. That's fine. But we understand that we don't need it. What we do want to do is be out in nature. We want to be walking around and just kind of taking in the energy that is around us in nature. And so this is the beautiful part of it. Yes, some things may suck, but ultimately things are wonderful once you can go inside, find your purpose, find your passion, and find all the gifts you've been given and put them to good use. So don't allow those things to suck for too long, right? Start focusing on within, the being within, and the potential that you have within. My name is Chad Armijo. I have chadarmijocoaching.com. I also have a new book on Amazon if you haven't checked it out yet. It is called Wake Up and Recalibrate by Chad Armijo. I'll put the link below. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more of this content, and I will see you on the next one. Love you all.